Okay, we're on live. I know I started the actual recording, unlike last week. So I hope you guys were able to circle back around and watch the re-recorded training from last week. Okay, so I got to dive right in because I've got a lot of really good stuff to share. We're going to talk about team building and really getting comfortable with team building as much as you've worked on learning the product and learning how to do a beauty experience and learning how to close and present the product at the end so it's very simple for them to make a decision. The way that you've practiced doing the individual consultation so that you could really connect with them one-on-one and they can feel comfortable in sharing what their needs are, what they want to take home. If you've not worked on those things, like I said last week in the training, practice. Those are skills. Just like if you were a nurse and you had to learn how to draw blood, or you needed to learn how to take certain vital, tests, blah, blah, blah. This is what we do. And if you have not honed in on those skills I just described, go back to that and learn those things, because that will actually prepare you even more to be a great team builder. I want you to think about, you're building a team of women that you're going to do life with, that you feel that it's kind of like putting together a team, a sports team. If you ever played sports and you were going to put together a softball team or a volleyball team, and you were selecting the players and you needed to have someone who was really good at slamming the ball and other people that are really good at serving, etc. You need different players. And so you are going to have a variety of people on your team, but you're looking for one common thread. And I know that one common quality that's important to me, just in the way that if I have a vision for our future national area, one of the things that I know that I draw to and I pull back from are people who are great with connecting to the heart, being authentic and genuine and caring about people. That's something I'm attracted to. When someone's not quite like that, I pull back and have a real hard time working with people who don't have a heart for people. And so what you've got to determine is what is important to you. What are qualities that are very important to you? You can't look for cookie cutter. Not everyone's going to be like you, but you do want to look for different qualities. And so maybe you need to list some of those things that are really important to you, that if they didn't have that, you don't think that you could really work with them. I'm reading the book, oh my goodness, by Hybels. And he talks about him determining what his legacy was going to be and how he was going to work with his leaders. And one of the qualities that he just could not compromise was integrity. And if somebody does not have good character, they may be super uber talented, but if they don't have good character, forget it. I can't work with them. My little circles are all twisted. Oh. Anyway, so that's something that you've got to look at. Will you overlook somebody who is not caring about somebody's heart and their well-being? Can you overlook that because they're really good at selling, or they're really good leader, like they could get people to do things? You got to decide. I can't live with that. So that's one thing I'd say to do is make that list of qualities you're looking for. Okay, so here we go. I have actually 2 pages. So I have 8 things I'm going to try to get through. So let's start off with ask everyone. And I know that this contradicts pre-qualifying. So here's what I will tell you is that one of the things that changed for me radically, I always was great at selling the products because I believed in it. It was super easy once someone tried it. It was so easy to sell. And but I didn't recruit because I didn't ask. I was afraid to make someone feel uncomfortable. So I didn't ask. Unless they asked me, I didn't recruit. And so then I started realizing, well, this isn't working. And how come all these other people are recruiting people, and I don't have anyone that wants to do the business? Well, it was because I wasn't asking them. And they're certainly not going to say to me, hey, I want to do Mary Kay. Well, some did, and that's who I recruited, but that's it. And so what I learned was that I had to ask, and I couldn't prejudge. So when I say ask everyone, that means that you don't prejudge in a way. A lot of times we prejudge, which is you say, oh, she's too busy. Oh, she's got a career and she'd never want to do this. Oh, her husband makes a lot of money. That is prejudging that you think she's going to say no. There's a difference between you pre-qualifying someone to say, do they fit into an entrepreneur temperament? And do they have the means to be able to run a business, etc. Okay, so let's look at some of the qualities, because I sent you guys a list and I will resend it, but here are some things that you're going to need to consider. All right, first off, the people that tend to make really good prospects have at least 5 out of the 8 qualities that I'm going to list. Okay, 5 out of the 8. They're not going to have all of them. So, again, and there's exceptions. There's going to be some, like I probably didn't have, near these when I got recruited. There's exceptions, but we don't build a business on exceptions, right? We build it on the rule. And what we have found across the board, those of us who've been doing this a long time, here are the 8 qualities. Married, okay? Age 24 or older. Passionate and proud of achievements, okay? Pays a mortgage or owns a home. Can pay for a starter kit today. Owns a car. Loves our product. Pride in personal appearance. 24 to 48 hours follow-up, meaning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and then that's you. Okay, so those are the 8 qualities. You got that? Now, some of you may go, oh, I only have like 4 of those. That's okay. I probably had like maybe 4 also. So it's just a guide, but it makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you think. And you can say, you know what? No wonder I recruit people and then they don't do anything. If they're missing some of these qualities, they may be able to buy the starter kit, but they're missing passion in their work. They're not passionate people. We did a career chat. I've probably only done 2 career chats in my career where somebody actually said, I'm lazy. 2 people, I'm a couch potato. Because that's what that says to me. I'm a couch potato. I don't really care. I really am okay with that. I don't want more out of my life. That's really not, that's not going to do it, right? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you got to be passionate. You got to be willing to work. You got to be willing to work, right? Even if you're going to do it hobby part-time, they got to be willing to do, follow something along. And we're not looking for hobby part-time. Those are easy people. Those are people that'll say, you know what? I buy a lot of the product. It makes sense for me to become a consultant. Great. I'm not going to hunt those kind of people down, right? We are really looking for people who have 5 out of these 8 qualities, right? That's what we want. So ask everyone, think in your mind, from what I see from her, she's got a lot of these qualities. I'm going to ask her. I'm not going to prejudge. I'm not going to guess, oh, she's not going to do it because she travels a lot. Oh, she's not going to do it because blah, blah, blah. Don't decide for her. Ask everyone to at least listen. You can say to them, say, listen, you know what? This may not be for you. I say that all the time. You know what? This may not be for you. That's totally okay. I value your opinion. This may make you think of someone, or you'll just have a better appreciation of what I do. And I would love for you to know. Okay. So that is so important. And I want you to ask yourself, do I hold back from even asking them to listen? Okay. The second point is sell them on listening, not on the opportunity. Many of you have been with me for a long time. You've heard me say this, and I hope that you know by now what I mean by this. You want to sell them on listening, okay? Not on, oh, Mary Kay, this is what we do, blah, blah, blah. Because if you try to sell them on the opportunity the first time that you're talking to them, they're going to give you objections that maybe you can't overcome because they've not been trying the product. They don't know enough about you or even what we do. You're just trying to first, impression say this, and so then what happens is they're like, no, it's not for me. Well, then where do you go? Where do you go from there? I would rather them agree to intentionally listen about the opportunity so that they then can hear and we could have a dialogue specifically about the opportunity. Now, there's nothing wrong with sharing the opportunity at a skincare party, beauty experience, or guest event, and them hearing it that way for the first time. That's okay. It's a layer, which if I go down to one of my points here, I'm going to tell you most people need 2 to 3 to 4 layers. So by share, that's why we tell you, share a little something at the party, share a little something when they're the first time they try the product. You want to share them a little bit about you and your Mary Kay, and a little bit about Mary Kay culture. That way it's a layer. It's warming them up. Okay. You're not giving them everything. Warm them up. Okay. If they agree to listen to the marketing at the end and there's time for it and you can share it, yeah, sure. That would probably be like a second layer in a 2-hour period. Hey, it's happened. So don't run away from that at all. Okay, so you're really selling them on the fact that, hey, listen, you know what? It's worth. So here are the benefits of listening. And so this is how you sell listening. This is what you're going to get out of it. First of all, you're going to help me with my training, and I'm going to appreciate that. So that's one thing. So that's one good thing that's going to come out of it. The other thing is that I found that most of the time intelligent women don't really like to make a decision about something or have a judgment on something without hearing the facts. That was good, right? What I have found is that most intelligent women do not want to make a decision or a judgment on something. Not that she's going to decide she's going to do the business, but make a judgment about something without hearing the facts. I'd love to get your opinion of our company. I'd love for you to understand more about what I do and about the company you buy products from. I really think that this is worth your time. I really do believe that it's worth your time to just listen. May not be for you, but I do think that it'd be worth it for you to get more information just from what I've heard about you and what I've seen in you. See, do you see how I'm selling her on listening? I'm not selling her on doing Mary Kay. I want to romance and take down the walls of her actually going, okay, I'll listen. I mean, I can't promise anything, or I'm really not interested. That's okay. Totally fine. How many times have you had somebody say, I'll do a party for you, but let me just tell you something, my friends aren't going to buy anything. And then it's a $400 or $500 party. Every single time someone says that to me, I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. And sure enough, it's $400 or $500 party. They don't know. And it's just like the person saying, I'm not going to want to do this. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. So that's why I'm not even going to try to sell her on that. I'm just going to have her listen. Now that's why I say to you all, get them to an event. Have them jump on the Zoom. Have them watch the video and do the 3-way call with me. Until you are consistently closing recruits on your own, like until you've really gotten some of the dynamics down, do the career chats with me so that you can hear. There are so many angles that some of you have never even heard me walk through because you haven't done enough career chats with me. So it's a way to learn. Okay, so you're selling them on listening, and the way that you can position. Now, some of the things I just said, you could really use that for anyone. They're general reasons why I think it's smart for people to listen, right? So that's one thing. But there's also things that you can gather from asking them questions. Ask some questions in the beginning, saying, how long have you known Susie? How did you guys know each other? There's certain things you're going to hear, and I'm going to cover how you listen better and get the information that's important. But you ask these questions before the facial, during the facial, after the facial, because before it's perfect. Everyone's mingling, you're waiting for people to get there, or maybe you pre-profile her, you talk to her on the phone, you can ask her a couple of questions, maybe you're texting back and forth. Oh, you work at the hospital? Really? What do you do? How long have you been there? Oh, great. You can tell by her answers if they're short, if they're long. If she was there because she loves helping people, or if she's there because she fell into the job. There's a lot of things that will tell you a lot about that person. Again, I'll tell you how to read that later. So you want to be attentive and you want to be interested in them and not your agenda or your story or Mary Kay, wowing them with Mary Kay. You're listening. You're asking sincere questions. You're relating. You're not telling stories about yourself, but you can say, oh my gosh, I have a sister that worked there. Really, do you love it? Is it a long commute? Is it long hours? What do you love most about it? And of course, you're not like rambling these question, because you don't want it to be like 20 questions, but you're listening attentively. Let me tell you something. If you're somebody who's shy or you feel like your confidence is not at a high level, The more that you stop thinking about yourself, the more they love you. It's not about what you look like. It's not about how educated you are. It's not about what car you drive or what career you have outside of Mary Kay. It's none of that. People love people who listen, who authentically, genuinely hear them. They like people who are real and that they're focused on their convenience, their needs, what they're saying, they respond to it. It's just so important for you to understand. I want to give you an example. I just heard recently Amy Kemp did a training. One of the examples she said about selling and how being personable and having the other person's needs way before yours. You don't have an agenda. You're there. Of course you want to make the sale. Of course you know numbers. You crunch your numbers in your office, and as soon as you leave your office and you go to an appointment, you let it go and you know how to do your job. And then what happens? What happens? You can't control people and you don't want to manipulate. And so what you're going to do is you're going to listen. And you're going to be there for them. You're going to hear their needs. And if it's not for them, it's not for them. You want to make sure you do the right thing by them. So here's the story. Amy's mother just retired, Jeannie Martin, and she went to buy a car. She hadn't had to buy a car in 30 years. She's driven free with Mary Kay. And so now she's going to the car dealership, and she was explaining she went to 2 different ones. She ended up, both of the cars were different brands, different, companies, but pretty much the same car. And she ended up buying the one, not because the car was better, because really apples to apples, they were pretty much the same. But she bought this one car because of this person. She liked the salesperson, did not like the salesperson. This is why. She told them her story. I hadn't had a car payment in 30 years. This is a huge deal to me. This is like a big event. And, it was kind of like emotional and it was monumental. And, so the one guy never asked her about her career, Mary Kay, didn't acknowledge the fact that this was a big deal. She was ready to pay cash in full for this car. She was going to pay cash. The guy that she didn't buy for kept talking about financing, their great financing program, which she says, I'm going to pay cash for this car. The other person asked her questions, was sensitive to the fact that this was her first car, totally heard, as far as financing and just really knew what she needed. And that's why she bought it from this. This person had a set agenda, had set things he was going to say, had set things that he wanted to do, wanted to close the deal, and that was it. Like, did not get it. It's so important that not only that you're good at I would rather you stink at the skincare beauty experience, not be any good at it, but be so attentive and so giving and so sincere and listening and asking questions and finding out, what skincare do you use? Do you love it? You have sensitive skin. You really love that. You've used it forever. You don't want to stop using it. Okay, that's cool. You know what? We'll go ahead and go through this. But, I understand that you're loyal to the product that you've been using. And that's awesome. I admire that, actually. I love loyalty. And I love the fact that you take care of your skin. So I think you're just going to sit back and enjoy yourself and just allow me to pamper you then. Do you see how you can let it go? And you know what? 9 times out of 10 at the end, they buy the product because you know what? You are okay either way. You're prayed up. You've already crunched your numbers. You know your skills. You know what to do. You have prayed, and now you're doing this appointment, and what she says and what she ends up doing is not in your control. And so you love her, you encourage her, you move to the end, and then you ask her, what would you want to do? Well, I really think I actually want to get this. Really? You do? Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? You can always start with, which one would you want to start with? You can start small if you want to. Well, I'm thinking the Miracle Set. Okay, great. I think that's a great choice for you because blah, blah, blah. Do you see? When you do that at the skincare party, it is so much easier to say, hey, I'm in a leadership program. And it would mean so much if you helped me in giving me your opinion about the business. And you know what? You have such an amazing heart. I mean, who knows? It could be something that you could do well. But if not, it's okay because it would help me with my leadership training if you get the information and give me feedback. Do you see how you can be attentive, ask questions, Hear her and appreciate where she's coming from, and not get defensive if she starts talking about another brand, not get upset if she, complains about maybe a past experience with Mary Kay, not getting defensive about anything. She comes in like this, if she's grumpy, if she doesn't want to do satin hands, if she doesn't want to put foundation on, you're okay with it. And you comfort her and you say, you know what, I totally get that. And whatever is going to make you feel relaxed tonight, I just want you to feel relaxed. And before you know it, her arms are uncrossed and she really likes you. So you are selling on listening, and the way you sell them on listening is by you being attentive throughout the party. Number 3. Oh, I'm only on my 3rd point. Okay, let's see where we are with our time. Okay, that's okay. So the thing that you want to remember is that number 1, so here's the order in which people open up to you. Okay, first, they buy you. I don't know about you, but when you go into a store and they start pouncing on you, does that annoy you and you leave? Yes. But if they go, hey, let me know if you need anything, my name's Susie, and then they go about their business and they check in, like, you're finding everything okay? Yep. Okay, great. Listen, I noticed that you have those pants. We've got another over here, blah, 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 just like it. Oh, thank you so much. Right? Comfortable and natural. They buy you. That's professional to me. When I see someone do that, I'm like, I like her. The second thing that they're going to buy is they're going to buy the product. They are going to, once they trust you and they're listening, or they try the product, they're like, oh, so that's the next thing that they're going to move into this. It's a process. Now, I like her. Oh my gosh, I like this. This is really good. She kind of knows what she's doing, and this stuff feels really good. How did I never know? Then when you share them about Mary Kay, they fall in love with the culture. Who we are, what we stand for. They hear you talking. When you share about the charitable foundation, they believe it because they like you. They like the product. This must be true. You see the process? It's a process that we have to be patient and make sure we don't skip any of these steps. You first love on them and then let them try the product. They'll fall in love with it. And then you share the culture and they see who we are and the heart of who we are. Then they buy the opportunity and they go, gosh, maybe, and you can make money at this? Oh my gosh. I love the people. I love the product. I want to be a part of this. See, that's the process. And then you don't have to be this master about marketing because they don't care. That's how I was. And I don't know about you. Okay, so the 4th point I want to make is the less you think, and I kind of brought this up above, the less you think about you, the more intuitive you will be. You will hear their heart of what she's saying, and you won't, and not her words. Okay, so let me explain here how this works. Is the less concerned about you. That's why it's really important that you shop and you get an outfit that fits you so you aren't thinking about it. That you get your hair done in a way that you feel comfortable with it, you're not messing with it. If you're having a bad hair day, leave the house and say, there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm going to have a big old smile and have pretty lips on. If you have a breakout, the same thing. Draw attention to something else and move on. But as soon as you leave that door, it is all about them. And the less you think about you and being paranoid, oh, do I look funny? Do I sound funny? But you are so into them that you forget that you're having a bad hair day. Then you're going to be able to hear. Because this was happening. If somebody says, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's because you're not listening. If you forget about you and you forget about feeling like, oh, I have to say the perfect thing, I got to get it right. And if you don't feel that way and you relax and you allow yourself to really hear what they're saying and read the room, and they're all talking, or she's talking and she's answering a question, and you're not thinking about you at all. You're thinking about every word she's saying. You're thinking about the tone in her voice, the speed in her voice. You're thinking about how she expresses herself. Is it with confidence? Is it with insecurity? Is it with is it fast the way she talks? Is it slow? Is it about her and her stories and her experience, or is it about her kids? You're going to hear all these things, not just through her words. You're going to be intuitive through the way that she expresses herself. That's because you're not so consumed with you. You can hear better. Then you're going to know what to say next and where to go next. So let me talk about how people communicate really quick while we're on this point. So important. People's words and their body language are conditional. Okay, let me explain what I mean by that. Their words oftentimes are expressed by what they think you want to hear. What they think is going to fit in with this circle, this crowd, this environment. Their words oftentimes are over promises, their best behavior, what they feel is appropriate for you and this occasion. It's conditional. Doesn't mean they're lying. It just means that it's this much of who she is and what she's going to do or what she wants to do. It's this much in her words. So don't go by what people say. And the body language is also conditional because it depends on how introverted, extroverted, how maybe they've had an experience at a party before. Maybe they don't wear makeup much, or maybe they just had a fight with her husband before she came home, or a bad day at work. So if she's like this, or if she's like this, or if she's like this, don't think she's not interested and she's not hearing you. Body language is conditional. It is all based on how she was feeling when she came in. So remember, you cannot go by people's words or their body language. So now you're going, well, what do I go by then? You go by their actions. So what did they do when they walked in? Did they hug the hostess? Did they, it's such a bad day. Did they come in disheveled or completely made up? Their actions, the amount of time they took in the morning to get ready. How they entered the room says they're others focused or they're self-focused. How fast they came in the room, how late they were, how slow they came in the room. Did they talk a lot when they came in the room or did they not talk at all? It says a lot through their actions who they are. We take people's words so much that it messes us up. And we miss a sale, we miss a recruit, we miss an opportunity, we judge. We can't judge people. You have to judge them by their actions. What do they actually follow through with? What do they actually do? And their history is the second thing that tells a story about the person. Their history means, what's their life like? Because where they are right now is based on the choices they've made in their life. Are they bankrupt? Do they have no car? Do they have, are they in the midst of drama? Are they out of work? Have they been in a job a long time? Have they had 10 jobs? So there's a lot of things in somebody's environment and atmosphere that says a lot about who that. Now, nothing said, you can't, again, we're not God and we don't know everything, but these are certain things that you can know about people because the history and their situation doesn't lie. It's obviously based on choices they made. We all are where we are based on the choices that we've made. So it just says how they make choices, okay? So that's one way to know someone, their actions, their history, and their relationships. How do they treat the relationships? What kind of relationships do they have? Do they have a lot of good, healthy, solid relationships? Those things tell the real story. And the reason why I'm taking so much time on this is because we end up building a team that disappoints us, discourages us. We get frustrated. They don't do anything. We're like, they don't do anything. My team doesn't. Nobody wants to do it. No, it's because we chose people who said, oh, yeah, I want to do this. I want to earn a car. Yeah, I want to do this. Or, oh, this sounds great. But their history says they don't have a work ethic. Their history says they get distracted from drama all the time. Their history says that they don't honor their word, that they say one thing and do another all the time. So, you've got to look at actions, history, and what are their relationships? Do they have a lot of broken relationships? Do they have very, very, very few people who would come to their rescue if they needed somebody or would be right there? Do you wonder sometimes when people have craziness going on and they don't have anyone around them that's healthy coming alongside of them? That says that they have a lot of fractured relationships. Being in a relationship business, not good, right? So those are things that tell the real story. And so then when you go back to pre-qualify a recruit or someone to listen, that might be a good indicator to go, I'm not sure I want her on my team. See, because let's go on to number 5. What could Mary Kay fill in her life? We aren't looking for, this isn't social work. And so oftentimes we look at them, she really needs Mary Kay. This would be so good for her. No, we need good people. So would she be good for Mary Kay? Would she bring blessings and great strategy and great work ethic to Mary Kay? Or is it, we need to help her and rescue her? We're not social work. We are a business. And so then some people go, Mary Kay didn't work. Well, that's because it's not, charity. You have to actually work, right? And so we have to think about this, is that what could fill, what now we're still looking at what could benefit her. Is this somebody who's a single mother working 2-3 jobs, and this could really bless her and help her get out of that situation? Oh my goodness, how awesome. And give her more balance for her family? Or what does she bring to the table? Certain leadership qualities, certain things that she's brought to her job that you could see, oh my goodness, you do your job so well. If you put half of that into Mary Kay, what you could get out of this. So she brings you, so when you look at these things, you speak them into her life. A lot of times we don't feel comfortable complimenting someone. And so we want to compliment some of them, show her, this is what Mary Kay could give you, and this is what you could bring to Mary Kay. You are amazing and talented. And so we want to think of ways that we can affirm them by what we just saw in their life, facts about their life. See, sometimes we say to somebody like, oh, you would be so great at this. And they're thinking, how does she know? She doesn't even know me. And you say it based on maybe, words or her appearance. She's beautiful, this, that. But that doesn't mean that she'd be great at this. And so you got to be careful and look at the qualities of some certain tangible things that you see in her life, real stuff. Okay? And so, so that leads right to, this is for you to see what you want on your team. For you to go through this process and learn her and kind of see all these different dynamics is for you to determine, do I even want her on my team? And it's also for her, for you to be able to know how she could benefit. By asking these questions helps you to know what she could benefit from in this business. Okay, the next point. Most people, like I said earlier, most people need multiple layers. Okay, so you've layered her at the party and you gave her you gave a sprinkling of Mary Kay information and your little mini I story. Then you had her watch the video and maybe do a career chat. And then now maybe she needs to think about it. So she's going to host a party for you, or she's going to be a guest at the next guest event. So those are ways that you can layer closely. And sometimes they need to be spread out because she not only needs to think about it, but she's going through something right now and it's not good timing, but you want to. So the way that so here's the next part is, because it takes layers, some layers can go quickly and she can make a decision, but some layers have to be spread out. You need to respect that. However, you must have a plan of action to follow up with these people that are stretched out. Okay, so this person says, you know what, I'm getting married in April and I really can't look at anything until after that. Okay, so what are some tools and things that you have in place to remind you to follow up with her, or at least keep you in her face during that window of time? Because think about this, is that, okay, she's getting married in April. So that's, 30 days. And of course, another month out because of honeymoon and all that stuff, right? So let's say it's 2 months out before she wants you to contact her. So what are you going to do in the meantime of those 2 months? Well, one, you're going to sign up for PCP, so she's going to get a book from you. One, you're going to send her a congratulations card for getting married, right? And then next, you're going to send her an invitation to the next event that's coming up right after her wedding in that window of 2 weeks after. Okay, so you've got this planned out. You put it on your calendar or you put it on your layer sheet. You have one layer sheet, super easy. In your brain book where you have your bubble sheet, your Power X sheet, and your 21-day challenge sheet. Those are the 3 sheets you use to work your business, right? Bubble sheet, so you know how many contacts you make a day. Your 21-day challenge, so that you know who you're working with to book and how many times you've contacted them. And your Power X sheet is your results. So you're using those. The 4th sheet would really need to be a recruiting layering sheet. And on that sheet is everybody that you ever shared the opportunity with and where they're at. Now, if they said no, then you could take them off the list. But those who did not say no, and you've got to follow up later, have that on there so you know what you're going to do when, and then put it in your phone and an alarm of when you're going to send her a note, congratulations, etc. Put it on your calendar, and then you can forget about it. When the day comes, you're like, oh, I need to write her a note today. Pretty cool, right? Okay, the last 2 points that I have, and I'm doing okay. I'm a little over. Okay, so lastly, how do I get them to listen if they say, yeah, I'm going to listen, and then it seems like everybody just forgets, or they don't get on the call, or they don't get on the Zoom, or they blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you must be clear. And you need to, so 1, you need to be clear. 2, you need to make sure to stress the importance of them following through, the importance to your training for you to get credit, and you need to make it easy. So that is why I asked for the Zoom last night. And I know it was last minute, so I'm certainly not blaming anybody. It was a last minute idea, and I think it was a good idea, and I think it'll work next time better. You text me their number so that I can send them a text to say, this is how you do it. Now, you could tell them how to do the Zoom. Say, download it now so you're ready. Or if you're going to do it at your computer, go to zoom.com, log in, it's free, and then hit join and you type in the meeting ID. But you've got to make sure they do it ahead of time and not at the last minute in case there's a glitch and they can't figure it out. So ask them, are you tech savvy? Do you tend to have a challenge? Let me tell you a better way. You make it easy for them so that when they leave or when you hang up or when you end the text conversation where they've agreed to listen, that it is very clear on how to do it, okay? So you've got to make it easy, whether it's a career chat, whether it's an invitation to somewhere, you make sure they know where they're going, that they know what they're going to wear. What do you think you'll wear there? Because we usually dress kind of professional. It's fun, but you could be comfortable. So what do you think you want to wear? Because I'm going to have a little color look samples for you to match, your outfit, something. Because if a woman knows what she's going to wear to something, she's more likely to go. So ask her, make it easy for her, and then say to her, oh my gosh, thank you so much again for agreeing to do this, because I am at a deadline and I have to have this done, and you make a difference. You count, you matter. And so stress that, make it clear, make it easy so that they follow through. A lot of times we're sloppy with it and they don't even know what they're getting on. Like, oh, I didn't know that this was about this and I didn't understand. Make it very, very clear. Okay. I'm done. The last point really just says how to invite, how to confirm, how to follow up. I'm going to need to do another training that actually shows you how to follow up, how to confirm. Well, you invite through an invitation so they have it on their phone. Maybe even do a calendar invite so it's on their calendar, but have a system to invite them and remind them. Remind them the day of in the morning and remind them an hour before. And you just say it like, I know how I am. I can forget things. So just a quick reminder that we're going to be jumping on in 30 minutes, something like that. So if you haven't downloaded Zoom yet, or if you haven't watched the video yet, watch it real quick before we get on the call, depending on whatever the career chat's going to be. So that's how you can confirm. And then the follow-up, I am going to do a training on what's your part in the follow-up. We do a career chat and they have a relationship with you and they're going to think about it. Then what? What are some things that you can do, say, to really follow up to help them have a yes answer instead of them bail? Or at least they'll respond and not even reply to you. What do you do? So we'll cover that at our next training. Thank you guys for hanging in there. A little 10 minutes longer than normal, but I hope this was helpful. And you guys have a great night. Thanks. Bye.